this is Photography Gamer, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode I'll be breaking down the photo mode in Wreckfest on the PS4. I'll go through the settings, explain what they do and help you out in that regard. So let's have a look at the basic settings, shall we? Firstly, entering the photo mode you've got to pause and then go to the photo mode section. So what options have we got? So we've got select camera. Now these are useful because these are kind of preset location cameras if you want to start off your process from a specific point. Then we have follow car. So you can choose the number of the car that you would like to follow on this kind of video replay type scenario. Then we have lens effects. So this has a number of things that we'll go into later when I go into the settings. What else? We can hide the game HUD. Good if we just want to take a shot. We can hide player names, we don't want that on the photo. Then the settings, they're not related to the photo mode, that's just game relevant, so don't worry about the settings on this one. Then we have the left and the right sticks. This moves and rotates the camera. Using the D-pad, up and down, craning raises the camera up or lowers the camera down. Again, D-pad left and right tilts. Tilting is very good if you want to create movement, so that's good for this game because there's lots of dynamic crashes and stuff like that. Right, so those are the kind of what you would call basic settings. Then we just have the lens effects, which I mentioned earlier. So we've got 4 options mainly here. We've got zoom, which is what you would imagine. You can zoom in or you can zoom out just to get a different sense of, positioning, framing. Then we have blur power. Now this is obviously, it chooses how deep the blur is going to be, but really the blur power has to be done after you've done focus distance and focus depth. Focus distance is where is the focus going to start. How far from you is the focus starting point. The focus depth dictates how much is in focus. Is it a thin line? Is it loads of space? And then the blur power will dictate how much blur is going to be used in the areas that aren't meant to be in focus. And you can also here reset to your default. Okay, that's the mode. I know, that was quick. It's not a great mode, honestly. It's very minimal, pretty disappointing in terms of the settings. Scoring, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10, or maybe like a 6. No, I'd give it a 6 because there's not much here, is there? It's more like a glorified director mode that you can then pause and take a shot in. I think it's a shame because I think this is a wonderful game with so many beautifully crazy visual moments during crashes. I think the photo mode should be so much more, but this is another example of a developer who's just chucked a photo mode in kind of like a half-assed way. Pretty disappointing considering it's a game I absolutely adore. There you go. Right, let's have a look at a few examples. Firstly, what I would say is use the replay mode to take your photos. Don't pause the race and do it because that's just too much hassle. Do a race, then when it's finished, watch the full replay and pause the race at the good moments. That way you'll avoid worrying about, oh, should I pause it now? You've got enough crap to worry about in this game with people nailing you into like the wall. So here's a shot. So this is, I think that was a Destruction Derby. Again, it's just about framing. I haven't blurred the background because I wanted to get all the cars in. So that's my dirty great banger that's been mashed up. And you've got the nice arena, bit of sky. But again, not a great deal you can do with these photos, but that's one example. This is another example, blurring out the background a bit. Here we've used the roll. Like I said earlier, if you tilt the image, it creates a sense of dynamic movement. This kind of works, but again, not an exciting image, but just an example. And that's it really. I didn't really take too many, but it's a fun game. I love playing it. I don't use the photo mode much, so that probably tells you enough about the photo mode, whether it's really worth using, but it's there if you really want to. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope it was useful. Follow, like, subscribe, Patreon, etc. Whatever takes your fancy. But for now, this is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.